Happy Friday, everybody. It is July 3rd and time for this week's Friday Funnies. Today is Independence Day Eve, which for me is every bit as exciting as Christmas Eve, because tonight I'll hang my stocking by the fireplace in the hopes that the Founding Fathers will come by and deliver the gift of governmental competence. I've been wishing for that for years, and thus far it hasn't happened, but my stocking is always gone in the morning. Well, Michael Jackson was joined in the great beyond this week by pitchman Billy Mays, who sold OxyClean. And I found it to be an amazing coincidence that Billy Mays sold OxyClean and Michael Jackson used to bathe in it while taking OxyContin. So conspiracy theorists out there, send me your thoughts. Meanwhile, here are the best stories of this week's news. I've done something a little bit special in honor of July 4th. I've decided to put together an indoor fireworks display right here in the Friday Funnies News Center for your enjoyment. So all we have to do is to turn out the lights and enjoy the show. First off, distributors of marijuana are getting cleverer and cleverer in devising disguises for their illegal product. In Litchfield, Connecticut, a teenager was busted this week after selling pot that was packed in McNuggets boxes. Police noticed a lot of people going to his apartment empty-handed and coming out with a McNuggets box and a goofy-looking grin on their face. The teen said that he used McNuggets box as his packaging because he had about 100 of them laying around the apartment from previous munchie attacks. Meanwhile, in Dallas, Texas, a man by the name of William Dale tried to smuggle 100 pounds of pot inside of a casket. He was driving around with this casket in his van, and police pulled him over for running a red light, improper lanes change, and not wearing a seatbelt. And after they pulled him over, they saw the casket. Now, when you see a casket in somebody's van, you just have to open it up. And when they did, they found that it contained no body, but a lot of tasty buds. On his way to the lockup, Mr. Dale asked the police if they could possibly stop off and get some McNuggets. Let me ask you this question. What is the oldest schoolboy excuse that you give when you didn't have your homework done? It was, my dog ate my homework. Absolutely. Well, this week, it actually happened as dogs devoured documents in Washington and Wisconsin. Starting off in Arlington, Washington, Kristen Banfield was charged this week with illegally taking money out of her ex-husband's savings account. When she was caught, she said, well, I had to do it because the dog went in my purse and chewed up all of my personal checks, and there was no other way for me to get money. So she thought this was a good excuse to go into the ex-husband's account and just strip it clean. Didn't work. Meanwhile, in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 17-year-old John Meyer was denied permission to get on an airplane for his class trip. His Spanish class was taking a trip to Peru. And when he got to the airport and presented his passport to the authorities, they noticed that the passport had been chewed up and the ID number was destroyed, thus making the passport invalid. It was chewed up by John's dog, so he couldn't go on the trip and had to go back home, spending the entire week swearing at his dog in Spanish. And our final story this week, really nothing more needs to be said about this. A British man was rushed to the hospital this week after trying to circumcise himself with a fingernail clipper. I'll give you a second while every guy watching this goes, oh my Lord! Yeah, that's what he tried to do. Tried to cut off, the bits with a fingernail clipper, and he had been drinking. Let me point that out. And his friends who he'd been drinking with said, well, he told us what he was going to do, but quite honestly, we didn't think he could pull it off. Hey, that's all I have for you this week. Have a wonderful 4th of July. There will be no Friday Funnies next week. I'll be traveling out to San Francisco, but we will be back with a flourish on the 17th of July. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy the grand finale.